Entry 3. Static in the walls. There's a sound that doesn't belong to any room, but lives in all of them. Static. Not the kind from a radio. Not the kind from a TV. The kind you feel in your nerves. It started in my room. Late. Quiet. No traffic. No sirens. No neighbors moving. Just the low hum of the building settling into itself. I was lying in bed when I felt it, not heard it, felt it, like pressure in my skull, like vibration without source. At first I thought it was pipes. That's always the first lie the mind tells. Then I thought it was electricity. That's the second lie. Then I realized it was memory. Memory makes noise when it doesn't want to surface. The walls felt too close. The ceiling felt too low. The silence felt loud. I turned on the TV for noise, but the static inside me didn't change. It layered itself over the sound, like two realities trying to occupy the same space. I sat up. My chest felt tight in that familiar way. Not panic. Recognition. There's a difference. Fear is sudden. Recognition is old. I walked into the kitchen. The floor felt cold. The light buzzed overhead. That buzzing sound always makes my thoughts race. Fluorescent lights feel like interrogation rooms for the mind. I leaned against the counter and closed my eyes. That's when I saw the hallway again. Not the one from the building. The one from my head. Long, narrow, flickering light. Doors that don't behave like doors. Silence that feels structured. Stillness that feels intentional. I heard a sound inside the static. Not words. Breathing. Not mine. Or maybe it was. That's the problem. The mind doesn't label internal voices. It just experiences them. The breathing was slow, controlled, calm, too calm. Not fear breathing. Not panic breathing. Not survival breathing. Presence breathing. I felt watched again. But not from outside. From within. I opened my eyes too fast. The kitchen came back, but it felt wrong, like a stage set built over something else. Like memory underneath reality. That's when I noticed my hands were shaking. Not visibly. Internally. Like my nervous system was vibrating. I sat down at the table and tried to ground myself. Tried to name objects. Chair, table, wall, sink, light, window. But the window felt fake. Not visually. Psychologically. Like it wasn't connected to outside. Like the room wasn't connected to the city. Like I wasn't connected to myself. I thought about the building on Kedzie. Or Pulaski. Or wherever my mind stores it. The boarded door. The hallway. The flickering light. The silence that followed the sound of something stopping. The static got louder. That's when the memory tried to surface. Not as an image. Not as a scene. As a sensation. Weight. Pressure. Stillness. The kind of stillness that only comes after movement ends. My chest tightened. My throat closed. My thoughts fragmented. My identity blurred. I felt multiple versions of myself trying to speak at once. The observer stayed calm. The child panicked. The survivor denied. The shadow stayed silent. The witness watched. The protector lied. The confessor tried to speak. Too many voices. Not enough language. I stood up. I don't remember deciding to. My body moved before my mind did. I walked to the door. I don't remember choosing to. My hand touched the knob. That's when the static stopped. Instantly. Silence. Not peaceful. Intentional. The kind of silence that feels like containment. I stood there with my hand on the door and a thought moved through me that didn't feel like mine. You don't need to go back yet. Not a voice. Not a command. Not a hallucination. A certainty. The kind that comes from deep memory. The kind that comes from knowing something your conscious mind hasn't been allowed to hold yet. I stepped back. Sat down. The static didn't return. But something else did. Clarity. Not truth. Not memory. Structure. I understood something without understanding the details. There are places in this city that are not just locations. They are storage units. Memory vaults. Trauma containers. Psychological anchors. And my mind is mapped to them. Somewhere on the west side, there's a real building that matches the hallway in my head. Somewhere in Chicago, there's a real room with no windows. Somewhere in this city, there's a real space that holds the origin of this fracture. And my psyche keeps recreating it so I don't have to face the real coordinates. Not yet. Because once I walk into the real location, I won't just remember. I'll integrate. And integration means responsibility. Not just for what happened, but for who I was inside it. The static in the walls isn't noise. It's pressure. Memory trying to surface. Identity trying to align. Truth trying to become language. And my mind is still negotiating how much I'm allowed to know without breaking.